You have to surrender. You have to allow people to help you.
But in the home and switching off, it's something I've struggled with.
It was an emergency delivery and the baby came out and the baby wasn't breathing. The baby was like no heartbeat, nothing.
Don't question the mom guides.
Yeah,
and
mom
also
guides.
there's no harm in like just appeasing your doubts.
How much I carry with me on a daily basis and how many internal struggles there are.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Today I am incredibly excited to finally get to meet one of my influencer dream team. If you had kids, you know her, Dr. Nadia Khan. I want a slow clap sound effect.
Thank you.
So excited to meet you. Thank you for coming. And today we're going to talk about how you stay cool under pressure. I thumb sucked the topic just with an assumption of what I see. I think you're fabulous. You're great.
Thank you.
And with a job like yours, before we get into why we're talking about staying cool under pressure, I am going to let you tell me about your day-to-day in a nutshell, and that will kind of tie in why I feel you have it down.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Sadhana. Thank you for that introduction. So, my day-to-day, I don't know if everyone knows, I'm a pediatrician, obviously, and my day-to-day, it's
Rockstar pediatrician.
No, I don't know about rockstar. I always laugh and say that people get a very different view of me from my social media. Everyone seems to think like, oh my gosh, I've got some kind of, my life is all about like these dances and these reels. But actually the reality is that it's, I joke and say I'm like a peasant, basically. I'm always running around. I'm always working hard. And every single day is a huge surprise. So I've got like my day planned out and, we've got these bookings every single day. And I literally get to work and that always changes because in pediatrics, there's always emergencies. So each day is very different.
I imagine.
Which in a way is a good thing because it's never boring.
Yeah.
And it's always exciting and there's always something new and something, some new life that you can impact or, some family's life that you can change, which is an amazing thing, really.
So with these podcasts and chats, we are getting into just blueprinting and picking up tools of how people seem to have their ships in order. And as a pediatrician, and you have so many hats, you're also a mom, a wife, and all of those things. And like you said, you plan your day, you make plans, and it never goes according to things. So how... That's why we're chatting, right?
Yeah, so obviously it's complicated when you're a mom and a wife, and that's why I've always had to have a system and I've had to have help. And I always say this, and I can't emphasize it enough, like we need help from other people. And so, my husband's also a doctor. He's a pathologist, so his hours are a bit better than mine. There's not so many emergencies and things like that. But because, I'm a mom, it makes it really difficult for me to be there to pick up my son or drop him off. In the morning, I've always got I've always got something in the morning planned. So to get all of that done, I've got a lot of help. I've got an au pair. I've got, systems, and I have, if I'm running late, I know that, my au pair can be there to, watch Yahya, do his homework with him if necessary. As they get older, and I think, how old is your child?
3. She's 3.
She's 3. So as she gets older, you'll see, like sometimes you think, oh my gosh, it's going to get easier, but actually the demands are greater as they get older because they've suddenly got like after school activities and things like that. So yes, I've got a lot of help in my home environment and in my personal life. And then I've also got a lot of help at work. You've probably liaised with my PA, and then I've got my receptionist. So they kind of like organize my entire life so that, I kind of get to work and I'm told, you've got so many appointments, you've got a Caesar here, you've got another Caesar there, you've got so many patients in the pediatric ward, so many in the neonatal ICU. And and that's kind of how I get through my day. I don't really take lunch breaks. I don't have time for that.
Yes.
And I survive with like a little snack pack of like fruit that I've cut up. And that way I can always just access like a little bite full of like an apple or like a pear.
Interesting, because I feel like I survive taking my kids' snacks.
You see?
So yummy. And I love her on that level, but it's about doing it for yourself, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And as a mom, you realize this. You oftentimes don't have enough time to sit down and have a full, huge meal.
Yeah.
So you almost like you need to be prepared for that. Listen, I'm not going to have time to have a full meal. So how do I maintain that, my energy, make sure that I get like good nutrition? And the best way to do that is to, have your little snack packs. Just like a kid. I'm like a kid who has like my little snack pack with me all day long.
But that's a good learning for me, because I feel like I take care of someone else more than I take care of myself. And it's such a bad thing. And I keep telling myself, like, it was a weird mental block. But if my daughter liked a snack or a specific food, I almost like put red tape over it in the house for anyone else, because that's her thing. I'm so guilty of that. I'm trying to unteach it. Like, I am allowed to eat cookies.
Yes.
Like, that jar is not just for one person.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be a governed system. But I think pressure and days to days, like if you haven't figured out that system yet, it becomes so overwhelming.
It does.
And
exactly.
finding the right people too, I'm sure, imagine for your village or your team.
Exactly, the village.
Yeah.
It is the village.
Yeah.
And accepting the village and not trying to do everything by yourself. It's very interesting because we always comment on people and go, yes, queen, you did it, people love to claim this, I'm a queen, I did it all by myself. But do you know of any queen who's doing things by herself? She's not. She has got people helping her, like all around her. The queen is not. She is just like, making sure that everything goes as planned.
To her plan.
But to her plan.
Yeah.
You need a lot of help.
I agree. And it's also, it's a hard thing to do because, like you said, when we were chatting earlier, sometimes the personality types, and I am the same, where if I want something done, I'll do it myself. And it's very hard to shift.
It is, especially when you've been raised by a very independent mother. So it's often like how we've been reared. Like when you have these, you have a lot of moms who raise their daughters to feel like it's some kind of badge of honor. If you're
be able
cooking, do it all. Be the mom and cook all the meals and, also be saving lives at work. And no ways, we need help. I had to surrender to that. And
that's the right word.
I had to.
It's a surrender mentality. And I actually recently did that, where I was like, my circumstance and also the people, a hard pill when I had my daughter to swallow. And I never realized it because my parents had told us this like over and over, like, when are y'all having kids? When are y'all having kids? We're not young anymore. And I was like, it has nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with them. And I remember my mom telling me when she entered like her 60s, she's like, I'm passing my time now. She was like, I'll be a good like grandma and I'll love them. But I'm not going to be capable in the way that I would have wanted to. She's like, because you're taking too long. And I was like, that's fine. I made peace with it. But when I did have my daughter, I was like, damn it, because if I could have leaned on her a little more when she had like the energy and the ability, I would have.
Exactly.
But the people in your village, you can't control. No one's going to do everything the way you do it.
No.
Yeah.
No, but that's why you release control.
Yes, surrender.
You have to surrender.
Yeah.
I say this over and over again to moms, like you have to surrender. You have to allow people to help you.
And do it in their way a bit.
You have to, because that was something I found really difficult. To this day, I find it extremely difficult to ask for help, which is why a lot of the help you will hear about in my world is paid help, because I find it really difficult to ask people for help. But I'm slowly learning to do that as well, to just have friends and family around me who are there, and to say, okay, well, I can actually like allow this person to maybe watch my child or pick up my child, and it's okay to do that. So
it's a big learning.
it is.
And I also feel the same. And I actually given that advice to many people, as you said it, about hired help is better than family help, because sometimes you want things done in a specific way, but that surrendering comes with that. So I think it gets easier as your kids probably get older.
As they get older, you do.
But it's such a good piece of advice to just surrender.
Yeah, that's the only way I survive, because my life is extremely busy. And so surrendering to help, is the biggest bit of advice.
Okay.
Allowing the village to help me.
Amen. I love that. So you have a pressurizing job. You have a lot going on, and the system that you've built that helps you. Tell me a bit about one of the most pressurizing situations you've been in.
Gosh, that's a really good question. There's so many, hey? And if I truly think about it, there are lots of situations I've been in that have been mentally and physically pressurizing. But I would say, ultimately, as a pediatrician especially, and obviously as a mom, probably the psychological side of having to tell a parent that their child was not going to make it. I think that for me, if I think of every single time that I've had to do that, where I've had to say that we're going to need to either switch off the ventilator, or that their child was born with a congenital abnormality that was lethal, or whatever it was, that part is something that I have truly struggled the most with. It's the most, for me, the most pressured sort of situation, or pressurizing scenario, because for me it's extremely difficult. It doesn't happen often in pediatrics, fortunately. So when it does, it's so different to almost like being a physician or an adult ICU doctor, because you are dealing with a lot of elderly patients. So breaking bad news,
and they've lived their life kind of thing. With
so
a child, it's
different.
Very,
So I think specifically, it was Christmas Day, and I had a patient where the child had come in. I remember the time as well. It was around 10:30 in the morning. I was doing my ward rounds, and I got called to casualty, and it was a little boy. And he'd been knocked by a car, and he needed to be resuscitated. His mom was not with him, and nor was his dad, actually. His gran was watching him, and she thought that he was with the uncle, and the uncle thought he was with the gran. And so he'd kind of followed the uncle across the road, and so the uncle had crossed the road to his car, and then didn't notice that the boy was behind him. And then the boy got knocked, and he was, he had a massive head injury, and we resuscitated him. I'll never forget it. We didn't want to stop, and we continued trying to resuscitate him for over an hour. The neurosurgeon came, but it was actually terrible, because it was Christmas Day and this kid passed away. There was nothing we could do. And then having to counsel, because then the mom arrived. not knowing what had happened. So you can just imagine as a parent, like that just is,
was
was one of the worst. I think for me that was, if I can think about one of the worst experiences I've ever had, and really difficult counseling parents in that situation. Yeah.
And how do you bring yourself like back, like lift your spirit after something like that? Because that's a lot of pressure, and it sits on your heart for quite a bit.
Yeah, so it's very interesting that I think doctors, this will resonate with most doctors. We don't really debrief or
decompress.
We don't deal with it. We kind of just go from one thing to the next.
Okay.
And maybe it does build up after a while. For a lot of doctors. For me personally, though, I think prayer is huge. Prayer, meditation, and just understanding again that I am not God, and I am not gonna. What I do, I must always do my best, but I can't alter what's meant to be. And I know that's really hard to. That takes wisdom. That takes, as you get older, and understanding.
I mean, yeah. So,
surrendering as well.
Yeah, I'm in marketing, and a very popular saying that we have is that we don't save lives, but you do. So that's like a bit of like a weird thing too, like a mindset with the jobs. Like maybe doctors just don't have the luxury of saying that, because it's like, oh, actually, we are the ones. But I think it's, it's important to have that, if you know you're doing the best you can and not everything is in your hands. Also important for people to understand, like with doctors, that they're not just, they're the helping hands and the messenger of a situation you're being put in or receiving.
Exactly.
But that pressure is very high. I think, like you said, so you have it's nice that you have such a good village that you've built, and you know how to get back home, and that your children are in good hands so that you can put your focus there. And that must help a lot.
It does help a lot. And
because it's your energy is a lot, I think, of what your patients probably love about you. You have a very calm...
I do have a very calm
aesthetic, yeah.
I've been told that before, and I am exactly like that in a resuscitation. There's a well-known guy, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention his name, but he's on radio, and he had a baby, his second baby, and his wife was in theatre. And as the baby came out, he was not around. He was in PE at the time. So on the phone, he was there, and the baby came out. It was an emergency delivery, and the baby came out, and the baby wasn't breathing. The baby was like no heartbeat, nothing, comes out. And so you've got this like celebrity who's there
on the phone,
and the baby comes out like this, and I had to go into full resus mode. But I'll often hear afterwards that a lot of people don't realize how bad the situation was, because I can remain quite calm, and that I think it's been something I've been gifted. I can think very clearly, and I feel very zen, weirdly enough, when I'm in that situation. I don't get frazzled at all.
My cousin's in the medical, she's an audiologist, and she says the same thing, but like deepest pressure situations, she channels a calmness that's like untouchable. She knows exactly what to do, but in casual situations, she's a bit lost, and she's like, I don't know like how to bring peace to it. But she's literally so calm. Once my car, we were driving, and it just started like swerving on a bend. I was calm, she was very calm, and then we had a little laugh about it afterwards, where we realized like staying calm under pressure is such a superpower.
It is. And they say that, to reach that level of waveform that you have in your brain with meditation, it's really difficult. I think there's a beautiful window that you can experience it just before sleeping, when you can tap into intense creativity And I was reading a book that said that there are people who reach that level, and it's in their work, and it's where they work is they're so passionate about it, and there's so much like, some artists can get there. And for me, I can feel that when I'm in a recess. It's like the world disappears and I just go into another
That's so
beautiful
beautiful.
state, and you tap into just this other level of concentration or whatever it is, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in meditation and calmness, like mindfulness and stuff. So you're speaking, like, I get it, I've done it. But after I had my daughter, I do find it hard to switch off on that level. So, like, in the home, basic in work and with like personal relationships, and if we have podcasts planned and things that don't go to plan, I can easily pivot my life. But in the home and switching off, it's something I've struggled with. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
It's
finding that peace again. Like, I feel at peace, and I'm still a calm individual, I hope. But I struggle to like with that meditation, like clear all the thoughts and stay in
it's
that thing.
because you're a mom,
Yeah.
and you're around your child, so
Yeah.
you're being hyper vigilant, and it's hard to get to that point as a parent.
Yeah.
Because
So
I'm like that with my son.
yeah, and something I spoke to my therapist about as well was, since becoming a mom, and I don't know if this is a woman thing, but I don't like to take breaks in between my day. And her dad is very different, where you must enjoy your day, you must relax where you can, and like take life as it goes. And I'm kind of like, when she sleeps, I'll breathe and rest. But until then, especially with that young initial age,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm sitting, even if y'all go out for an hour,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go nap. I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
for my next shift. Essentially.
Exactly.
So my mind works in shifts.
What is a nap, anyways?
How can you? And
I
then,
know.
like, the
What is
struggle for
that?
me is like, how do you come back? Like, switching off in the day for like a bit of like multitasking and to like
Completely.
recharge, and then to come switch back on. It seems like that might take more of my energy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right?
And to get back into
No,
it.
let's get back into
the
it.
zone.
When I switch off in the night, though, I'm out.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
my phone's on flight mode. I'm not
Which
speaking.
is so good.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah, luxury marketing.
I can't.
Well, Van is covering your phone.
Exactly. Thank you.
So that was like the next question, is like how you handle pressure at home differently compared to work pressure. Because obviously you're a rock star and you're zen and you're chi in the workplace. And you think you're going into the different planes, and that's beautiful. But that's not a luxury you can always have at home.
No.
And also it's a harder spot.
Yeah, completely. I think, unfortunately, and I'm sure it's true for so many parents, but sometimes you're a lot nicer of a person in the workspace than you are in the home space. And I think it's because, we take for granted these are loved ones. They will love us no matter what.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes find that if I've had a really difficult day, I can be a bit irritable and short at home. So how do I handle it? Sure, I need time by myself.
Yes.
I need time by myself, and I need to. Prayer is huge in my life. So just prayer and meditation. I'm a
My
Muslim.
name means meditation.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm a big follower of it.
Wow. So in Islam, it's called dhikr.
Okay.
And that's basically, it means remembrance. And so I do a lot of just breathing and remembrance. So meditation. And then it's also like sometimes you need to realize, like, I'm overwhelmed. I need to go and, dunk my face in ice water, or because that helps with anxiety and when you're stressed.
Yes.
or I need to take off my shoes and I need to walk outside barefoot. I need to ground myself. Or I've got chickens now, and I've got a leopard tortoise as well, and I'm trying to grow some vegetables. So like a suburban farm.
Nice.
So yeah, so I go and I'll feed the chickens, and animals have a great way of like just calming you, you know, and plants. I started hugging trees as well. So in the morning, it sounds so weird and hippie, but it really helps. It really, really does help, like early in the morning.
A family member of mine, he moved into like the forest in the States in Atlanta, and he's doing this whole healing journey, like trying to find himself. And he said you must always like even like speak to your water.
Yeah.
Like where you get it from.
Yeah.
So, because water travels such a far journey and in a different, like each glass of wherever you get it from has had a little different journey. So I think hugging the tree is very similar.
I find that I have more roses in my rose bush ever since I started to just take a walk around my garden barefoot in the morning. You know, I touch all the barks and I'll touch the flowers and I'll notice and I'm there and I'm present. It's not just in my garden. I'm like, thank you for the oxygen that you are providing me with today and all the beauty that you're giving to us. So it's just, as you get older, you start to just, you know, I don't want to be someone who's reliant on medication all the time, or someone who's just not nice to be around. I don't want my family to not want me around them because I'm so overwhelmed and stressed and taking it all out on them. So yeah, so that's how I kind of decompress.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. I hear you. But it also just sounds like you're just kind of paying attention to what fills your cup and how to switch off.
Yeah.
I struggle a little bit with, well, now I'm finding my way, but about taking a moment to myself and how important that is. I think when I first became a mom, I would say, like my partner, he was very much pro, go for a walk, take time to yourself. But in the back of my head, and a lot of your patients will probably align with me on this, I couldn't understand how the world continues if I step out to fill my cup.
Right?
Such a
Because there's
weird feeling
huge
all the
guilt
time.
with
Yeah.
that. There's huge guilt with that.
And I see it all the time with my new parent friends. And I'm rising a little bit, like I'm 3 years into the game. But I was like, y'all are joking if you think this house continues without me in it. And it was being brave enough to, like we said earlier, to trust people with their strengths and how they show up. Yeah,
it's all about surrender.
But it's almost, and I would just like people to like fully get that. But like we're disservicing ourselves completely by not asking those questions of how do I refill my cup? How am I showing up better for my child, my family? Because the same, I didn't want my daughter to see that stressed out, frazzled side of me. And that's not me. I am a calm energy.
Yeah. So another thing, which is interesting because you touch on this filling your cup thing, and I think it's important for parents to also remember that for each person it's different. Some people say, oh, why don't you watch a movie and, you know, distract yourself, take yourself away from everything. But for me, distracting and filling are two different things. I don't feel like I fill my cup by distracting myself. So I will almost never watch television. I don't watch TV. I feel like that is just exactly what it is. It's a distraction from what's real and what's in front of me. So I'm not a huge fan of TV. And I instead will find that I fill my cup, and it's like nourishing my heart and soul by doing things like all these things I've been telling you about, you know, going outdoors or even like visiting a baby home. Like it's something so like, it seems so silly, but that for me, it almost can seem to someone like it's work. But actually that has a sustained, like keeps you like sustained and filled for longer. And I mean, it's been shown in studies as well. It's one of those things that, you know, if you want to remain happy for a prolonged period of time, you give. And so that for me helps. And it's only now that I've gotten older that I've realized that actually filling my cup doesn't mean, oh, going for a back massage. I still feel empty after that back massage.
Oh, I'm feeling...
Filling my cup is not, it's not just simply, do you get what I mean? It's the funniest thing.
It is the funniest thing because for the last 2 years, I felt like going for a back massage was entitled to me to feel better because my body has shifted, it's changed and all these things. But it recently, it did land. I was like, you are flushing good hard-earned money down the drain.
Because do you feel full afterwards?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, my back feels great, but for a minute.
Right.
But when I actually feel like in a safe space and I've spent time with loved ones or things that fill me, it's different. I go to bed and I feel like I can just swerve in any direction without
and you
an
have
ache
that joy, and it's from the inside. So it is. So filling your cup, you have to actually, as you get older, you realize that what is filling my cup and what does it even mean? I mean, I could go shopping, but that's just a dopamine hit. That's not filling my cup, you know? I could take a nice photo and look really cute and people will say nice things, but that again is just, it's an ego boost.
Yeah.
It's not filling my cup.
Like getting your hair done feels fine.
Yeah.
To feel fresh and cute, but
no,
it's
not sustained.
Yeah.
But you give to the poor, or you, I don't know, do all these other smaller things.
For me, I find...
or being with loved ones.
Yeah, that really does do it for me.
You're right, family.
Yeah. And when I'm feeling extremely ungrounded, one of my tests actually is if I like stand on one leg, if it's not like...
Wow.
Yeah. Then I know I need to just do some more, like, do I need to call my mom? Do I need to switch my phone off after I fetch my daughter and just be with her till I feel that, like, shakiness? It's physical shakiness gone.
It's amazing, hey?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how, like, your inner world impacts your outer world so dramatically.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, I sound very much like I've got it all together, but actually...
But you're learning.
But I do learn, and I've learned as I've gotten older. And I think the world's changed as well.
And do you find there's a difference between your 30s self and where you're at now?
These are the best days.
Yeah.
Yeah, best days. I think in my 30s, I think that's the period of your life where you're building up your reputation and you kind of like, it's all about career,
establishment,
and building the home and all of those things. And then when you turn 40, it's a huge spiritual significance of the number 40. I'm sure you know that as well. 40 is a very spiritual number, so you find that at around the age of 40, for most people, it's your inner, your spirit or your soul comes knocking on your door and says, hey, what have you done? Like, are you ready for this? It's your midlife crisis, and that's where it stems from. And if you are, I suppose, not spiritually aware, or you don't have that eye open, you can sometimes confuse it and confuse this feeling of agitation for, I need more things, more dopamine hits, let me buy a Porsche, let me get a younger wife, let me, whatever it is. But it's actually just, it's there to knock on on your consciousness and say to you, hey, listen, if things are not lining up or you're not properly aligned,
what shifts are
like where are you going? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you here in this body, in this form? And what are you doing here? And are you on the right course? Or do we need to like change direction? And that's what it's actually meant to be doing. And it's at 40. And I think most people go through it. It's why we have 40 weeks of pregnancy. It's why we have 40 days after birth. It's where the 6-week checkup comes from.
That is
It's
so
that
interesting.
for the first 40 days of life, your baby's not ready for the world. So you see your pediatrician at 6 weeks, the 40, round about 40 days. Yeah. And that's why you have 40 weeks of pregnancy. Don't forget that.
I didn't realize that connection.
That's why
so beautiful.
Buddha meditated under a linden tree for, I think it was 40 days and 40 nights.
And that is
there's
the
something
Lent
related
thing?
to Jesus
Yeah,
Christ as
with
well.
Lent, it's 40 days, I think.
And then the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he gained his prophethood, or, that's when he started.
At 40.
The first revelation of the Quran was at 40. 40 is highly significant, and most people don't know it. So when you get to 40,
be excited. Keep
be
your eyes
excited.
open.
It's amazing. And it happened to me. I went through that. I truly went through that. And it shifted my entire world. And I went inward. And I feel like, and you'll notice this from even my Instagram, but from the age of 40, all the posts the posts changed. Everything changed.
I'm seeing on my algorithm on social media quite often this message, because it's quite trendy now with those messages of life and all of these things.
I think it's because is it the let them thing?
Yes,
it's like the let them thing.
Yeah. I mean, and like people changing and how you're.
Yeah,
it's okay as well to just agree, move forward.
Yes.
Like, not everyone's going to like the things you say and what you do. And that's okay. And you have to try not to take things that personally.
Yes, or hyperfixate and think like
everyone's
against
like
you.
What you do.
Just because they have a different opinion doesn't mean that they don't like you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But it's okay for people not, and I don't think everyone should like you.
No.
Yeah, that's just a weird situation that you would find yourself in, because I don't think I want to be liked by everyone, but when I feel sure of myself, then I feel like no one can question what I'm doing. I feel like I want to get more into the Instagram field, because you'd have done so much. I'm going to put a few examples up.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Instagram thing is interesting because it's not something I ever saw myself doing. And I used to be extremely shy of even just having my photo taken. I would be like, I don't know how to pose. I don't know how to look at the camera. And I still remember it's Terry Rowe who started up the Instagram account looking at me and going, you look like you're saying, like, am I smiling? Like, every time I looked at the camera. And I hated it. I absolutely hated photos of me. Like, I couldn't deal with it. It's like, no, do we have to? And so it was not something I ever saw myself doing. But I think in my time as a pediatrician, in seeing that perhaps the medical fraternity had not taught us 100% everything that I felt we needed to focus on, like root causes, nutrition, etc. And we were a lot of the times band-aiding things. And I felt that it was important to teach parents to ask the right questions, to know more about their kids, to understand the implications of vitamin deficiencies, things like snoring on their child's long-term well-being. And for me, it was such a huge thing because post-COVID, I was suddenly seeing so much mental health stuff, just like left, right, and center, anxiety, depression, ADHD. And it felt to me like it had grown exponentially. And I didn't see the answer as being just drugs. I still, in my mind, see this very dystopian society, in my head, 2-3 decades from now. And I don't know whether you can see it, but it's a world that's in grey and white. And kids are walking into a classroom and there's a teacher just handing these almost like zombified kids a pill as each one of them walks in. And I can't accept that. I can't accept that we are
There's a pull for
medicating
everything.
children. So I have definitely felt the need to inform parents of all the things that need to be examined and looked at biologically, organically in their child before we just go, oh, look, the teacher says my child's not concentrating. Okay, go to the pediatrician. Here, have a script for ADD meds. And that seems like just the norm, and I'm not okay with that. I'm going to say it, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a drug dealer. I came into this as I was a 9-year-old who said, I'm going to be a pediatrician, not because I wanted to be a drug dealer, but because I wanted to heal people, and heal. So I don't mind if you decide to never call me a doctor again, because it's not about that. It's not about the label and all of the titles. For me, it's more about being a healer, someone who is going to search, going to go and find where are things off balance in this child, and let's identify that and let's sort that out, so we're not drugging these kids like so hectically. I see 12-year-olds who are on like 6 to 8 chronic medications. That is not normal. That is not normal. I think people watching and listening know exactly what I'm talking about.
So obviously you have a big following while it's growing, because you're understanding the need that parents want to upskill in just knowing how to handle their kids and what to identify. I come from the era where we ran to the doctor for everything. And I used to, and it's also it triggers me when I phone my mom and I'll be like, no, Anya has a little cough and, and she'd be like, did you go to the doctor? And I'm like, no, Mom, because I don't, it's expensive, one. It's very expensive to run for every single thing. And it takes a lot of bravery to be like, we're gonna wait this out.
It does.
So the other night, actually a couple of weeks ago, my daughter was fine during the day, chilling, we were laughing, did our normal routine, put her in bed, and then she started crying. That's how it starts, no? In the middle of their sleep, it's like sign one. And then I noticed, like, oh gosh, she's so warm. And I was like, since we moved to Joburg, which has been about a year now, she hasn't had like a flu or weird,
that's amazing,
thing. Like, she's been doing great.
Wow.
And so this, it hit me offside. I was like, and like, we were home alone, and it's just her and I. It's middle of the night, and I was like, and I put my hand on her chest, and I could just feel her heart racing.
Pounding.
And that's when the fear came in. And part of my generational trauma was like, I need to rush her to the doctor or to the hospital. But it's midnight now. It's freezing outside. So I was just kind of like, am I gonna do the brave thing and trust my instincts to make it through the night? Because I also feel with small kids, that's a level of trauma, waking them up, jumping in the car.
Completely.
And especially I could imagine when it was just the two of us, if I'm gonna be like, how would I hold her in the car? All those questions were running through my head. So I just kind of got her some fluids. I put my hand on her chest, and I was just trying to and I gave her the medicine that she needed.
Yeah.
And slow down that heart rate literally with my hand. I was like, I just want this to slow down. But I was up for the rest of the night, and she got some rest. But I guess my question is under that pressure situation, when do you know to, I don't want to say overreact, but to react? Bring in the pros or...
So for me, I think that as time has passed by, and I feel like with every generation, we lose a little bit of that, which is that natural instinct. And it's there, it's still there within all of us. I think we just are so distracted by so much else. I think over information especially, that we do tend to not trust ourselves and trust that gut, that intuition. I do it as well. It's so easy to talk about in retrospect, but when I was in those initial few months, I also found it exceptionally difficult. So again, I would say it's important to not fill your brain with too much information and fear. Fear is a terrible thing. It clouds you completely.
That's
right?
exactly it.
And I think that, so that's number one, is to not, and then trust yourself that you would know. If you feel that's something that's saying, I need to go, like you cannot get it, no matter how many times you try and bring the temp down, or you putting your hand on your baby, or other people are saying to you, no, it's fine, you're overreacting. If there's something in you that is saying to you, I need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. That is your mom tuition, as I call it. It's a mom gut thing, right? So it's funny because you have given a scenario of like an emergency, and yet you can have a mom whose kid is literally had one sneeze, or the child complained of a headache once, and their mom gut is going to say to them, you need to go to the doctor now. Whereas conversely, you can have a situation where the child is got temps of 40 degrees, but you're going to be feeling calm, like I can manage that. And you will know because your gut is going to tell you. Obviously, there's exact criteria, and I put that up online, temps not coming down, having febrile seizures, history of febrile seizures, going blue around the lips and the fingers, having rigors, lethargy, even when they're like flat and fatigued almost, like poorly responsive, even after you bring the temp down. So there are a whole lot of other criteria. We all know that. But I'm talking purely from your gut.
Yeah.
You can have a situation where a child doesn't have a high temp, complains of one minor issue. And I've seen that. I've had a mom whose child had a headache. And she looked me in the eye and she said, Dr. Khan, I'm so worried about him. And it was the way she looked at me. And it was like her gut instinct spoke to my gut instinct. And so I looked at her, and without understanding why I was saying it, I was like, okay, no, we need to do an MRI brain. And I kept them in for 2 days, even though like the dad insisted, like, we need to take him home. He's absolutely fine. Why are we doing this? His vomiting went away. When we did the MRI, he had a golf ball sized, like, brain tumor. But he had no other signs. And that was purely mom gut. The mom gut guided her to the hospital. And then when she looked at me, it was like, it kind of spoke to me in some weird way. So it wasn't about anything that you could learn in a book. It wasn't book knowledge. This was just, we can call it ancient wisdom, maternal wisdom. But yeah, it's very interesting. So I would say the most important thing is to not be so fearful. Don't avoid like over information. I think that as well is why the Instagram, for me, it's kind of clear and concise, and it's from a pediatrician, and it's practical. It's like, okay, child's got a temperature. Should you go to the hospital in the middle of the night? And I have exact criteria. Go to the hospital if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And like, if you don't have that, then you don't go. But if your gut is telling you, and even if none of those criteria are fulfilled, if your gut is saying to you and pulling you to go, you go.
That happened with my sister this weekend. For me to come here, she was going to come to Joburg to watch my kid, spend just with her daughters and play. And her daughter was very lethargic and low in energy. Something just wasn't it. So she said, before we leave, I'm going to take her for a checkup. And she's been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
There we go.
How crazy is that? And she's like 7 years old. And it was at 22 or some crazy thing.
How crazy?
How
and
crazy
her
is
mom
that?
got told her.
Her mom got just said, something's not right with her. And I remember my first ped visit, like it felt like a pop quiz. They're like, how do you know when something's wrong with your kid? And then we were like, I don't know. And then I was like, you would just know by looking at them. And the first thing is change in behavior.
You
right?
know your
just
child.
know.
And so it's so funny because so often like a mom will come in and they're like, I know it's nothing obvious, but I just know my child, and this is like, he's just been so different. Like, they could look absolutely fine, but that mom knows. And I always trust what the mom says. The moms always know best. Always. And every dad's always there saying, you're being paranoid. There's nothing wrong. Every single time.
But I mean, there's some
It's
beauty
so
in that. Like, don't
funny.
question the mom guides.
Yeah,
and
mom
also, there's
guides.
no harm in, like, just appeasing your doubt, maybe.
completely.
I think that helps with pressurizing situations.
Yep.
Like, even if I am overreacting or possibly wrong, we were talking about it earlier in another chat, and this mom said that she was waiting for something tangible because her gut was feeling it.
Yeah.
And then for weeks, she's like, I can't say anything or action it because nothing tangible has happened.
Yes.
For me to do something.
Exactly.
And then eventually what her learning was, you don't have to wait for that tangible thing. It's more about just listening to how you feel and moving accordingly.
Completely.
Okay.
It doesn't always have to be tangible.
I thought it would be fun before we wrap up if we played a game of Would You Rather. I think people want to know you. You're such a fun presence. And
Thank you.
did you say you were introvert or extrovert?
I am
A bit
an
of both.
extroverted introvert.
Me too.
I can fake it when I need to. But I truly just want to be by myself. I always say I just want everyone to leave me the F alone.
But like, I'm at my biggest peace when I have time to myself and my thoughts, and even like with
Writing and
with pressure, just like if I need to have a little cry, I don't want someone to be, what's wrong? I'm figuring it out. I need to just let all of this out and
literally,
rise.
people have no idea how much I carry with me on a daily basis and how many internal struggles there are. And I will only share what I want to share. I don't share majority of it, which is weird and interesting and maybe slightly pathological, and maybe I need to deal with that. But I've just gotten used to, I just have my own internal dialogue, and
I feel like that's good though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if the psychologists say that. I feel like they might say that we are like enabling other people or something.
No, the way I heard it or took it, like with pressure and stuff like that, sometimes when I go through like life changes, very deep, big stuff, I know my family and loved ones are there to hold space, to try and understand and ask questions and do those things, but it adds another layer.
Yeah.
And then when people feel sorry for you, or if they're kind of like fixated on a certain part of it, it's hard for me to work with it and move past it because you've given me additional stuff to consider. And whereas if you work through it on your own timeline, how you feel, and then see them on the other side, I don't know. We have to check with the therapist.
I don't know. I think I've just, it's just like a built-in thing in me to just deal with stuff by myself. And the whole thing about people pitying you or feeling sorry for you, it kind of, I think that's a big thing as well. I don't want anyone to pity me or feel sorry for me. And it's not that I don't want to appear weak and vulnerable. I have no issue with that. I don't like that attention of like, oh, you know, look at what you have been through or what you're going through.
Yeah, same. I don't want anyone. It's not that I don't, like, I can be open to solutions or your suggestions, but I don't think anyone fully understands contextual stress and internal things the way that what you're going through.
Yes, completely.
So the self-work is just...
Completely. And it's sometimes they're like intricate parts and intricate components that others may never understand, or like for them, in their worldview or their life view, it won't make sense. But in yours, this is a contributing factor or whatever it is. So it's best sometimes to, and for me personally, although I'm sure that there are many psychologists and psychiatrists out there who are thinking, wow, that's very pathological.
Delulu leading Delulu. And I'm always telling people that when they ask me for advice, I was like, I don't know much and I'm probably wrong, but this is how I would do it.
Yeah, but I'm definitely I think an extroverted introvert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a few more things to try and unpack the mystery of Nadia. And I think I already know the answer. Well, we do. If you are listening to the chat, you know the answer. So read a book or watch a movie.
Oh, read a book.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy. I don't watch TV anymore. Yeah. I don't watch TV, yeah.
Yeah. I find that what you said about TV very interesting. It is a band-aid.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction.
It's a
and I
huge
often
distraction.
choose to like sit with my thoughts. And if someone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'd rather not say, because this is me. How do you tell someone you're doing that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain that?
Bemused. My English teacher used to use that word all the time. And that was you, bemused. Yeah, lost in thought.
I love it.
You're bemused.
I'm going to add it as a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hike or gym?
You know, it's so funny you ask me that because I'm so burnt out all the time that I would say, is there another option? But
Bemused.
Yeah, bemused. Can I just like lie on a bed and stare at the ceiling? Can I do that? Is that option there? No, but
it's outside or inside.
But I would choose hiking. I want to be outside.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like the amount of times I run around the hospital, like from ward to ward,
step counts.
I am totally hiking all day long, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet treats or savory?
Oh, savory all the way. That's too easy.
Yeah. But I like dark chocolate.
Me too. I love dark chocolate, but I would much rather have a giant packet of flings any day. Flings is like my favorite.
I like a good samosa.
Samosas are fine. As long as it's Indian a potato savory, samosa.
Yeah.
But like the big ones.
Okay.
Those big ones. The big potato samosa must be very yellow. Must almost be neon yellow.
Yeah.
I must be able to see all the dhania all over.
Yeah, I need you to put the love in that
and thing. And the mustard seeds. Right?
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Meditation or dance? I already know that. But
okay, so I love dancing as well. So this one I would have said both because I really love dancing. Like I enjoy it so much. I even did that like a salsa course last year or the year before. It was so much fun.
Oh, wow.
I've got patients who are salsa instructors and so I joined them and it was so lovely. But I definitely would, if I could only do one, I'd choose meditation.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I hear you. But I think they both have their place. My daughter loves dancing, but like seeing it on our camera because I like let her watch herself.
Yeah.
And I found in like very dark spaces or times, if I look back on my phone, I was completely like not checked out, but I'm distracted. And this small person is like, this is the song. And we like get into that vibe. And it was like healing on its own
It's
thing.
amazing, hey?
Also the fact that she doesn't care whether we're in public. Like sometimes she wants to go do it in cool scenes, like for a nice backdrop. And I have to literally be like doing my waka waka. Yeah. And she's like...
Listen, I know that dance very well. My niece.
You got it down.
She's forced me to do it.
We went to, your niece went to the same school when we lived here at the play space.
Yes.
I saw you doing a chat there. Love it. We did a chat with Ariadne.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Amazing.
So many of my patients go there.
Such a beautiful school.
It is. It's amazing. But a lot of twins. I had like a few of my twin patients go there.
So good. The foundation's amazing.
Yeah.
They're just playing and chilled. Okay. Hot tub or cold plunge?
Oh my God, I'm
never gonna cold plunge.
Oh my God,
you can't pay me enough to try it.
Not a chance in hell.
It's a Gen Z's, I think. Yeah.
No, it's. I honestly think
must be hot.
I am convinced that like it's some kind of like lie to all the people to convince them to do dumb things, and like the government's like trying to see how far they can like influence people, like how ridiculous, like what kind of ridiculous things can we get people to do? And they were like, let's try cold plunge and let's see if all these influencers will do it. And there we go. It's so many crazy people.
I can't. I don't like being cold at all.
I don't think there are many Durbanites who can.
Yeah.
But in Hermanus, I was in Hermanus this past weekend, the temps maximum was like 11 or 12 degrees. And in the morning it was even colder. And there were people going to swim. They are like mad. And it was so windy. I was like, no, you would never catch anyone in Durban ever.
Do you catch a cold like that?
No, not really.
Okay, so that's my Indian brain.
Yes, your Indian brain.
Good Lord, they're going to catch a cold.
Yeah.
Last one, sweats or dresses?
I think I love dresses.
I think you do too.
Yeah.
I was guessing
I do love dresses. I do feel like when I'm at home, I'm in sweats like immediately.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy dresses because I'm always like usually dresses and like, white sneakers. So it's not like it's like a choice of like heels and flats.
Oh, that's an easy choice to make.
Yeah, it's flats.
You're like, just to be clear, can't sit together.
Yeah, completely.
I broke up with heels in pregnancy, and only recently that Woolies are doing the small ones for the kiddies. And this girl was like 3, and she's like, I want the heels. And then she's wearing it up and down the house, going nowhere. And I said, yeah. She's like, don't worry, Mama. One day you'll have pretty shoes too, and you can wear them all day. I was like,
yeah, Mommy doesn't
never
want
gonna wear heels the whole day.
No.
Ever. Anyway, this was so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And taking the time.
I've loved it.
I know you're a busy lady, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so
it was
much.
really great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I know we went a bit off topic. It was more like spiritual than pediatric. Hey,
I mean,
sorry about that.
Yeah, the blueprint is there though on how to manage your stress, how to stay calm, and like, share, and subscribe, obviously, and follow Dr. Nadia Khan. Thank you so much.